Well, this charity they say begins at home. So let's come back home and talk about the Globe Premier League Week 34 fixtures. Let me quickly run through the fixtures for you. Kaduna United will take on Eyimba. Nasarawa United will take on Pillars. As a matter of fact, matches were played yesterday. And these matches will take place this weekend. Nasarawa United take on Pillars. El Kanami Warrior take on Nimbe City. Crown take on Rangers. Sharks take on Sunshine. Bayelsa will take on Taraba United. These are some of the fixtures for you, games that will go down this weekend. Gombe United take on Giwa. Aqua United take on Dolphins. Lobby take on Abia Warriors. Heartland take on Warri Wolves. Interesting fixtures there for you. Games spread across the country. So if you're a lover of football, just but there's another interesting thing we should talk about. We're talking about the wonder goals. Some goals have been selected, and some of these things I think is a good yardstick for whoever is the Super Eagles coach. When you look at the statistics, it helps you as an index to pick players from.
I think that's what we need to improve here in Africa or Nigeria as a whole, because I don't really think we look at statistics most times. Because let's talk about Keshi's invitation of players.
You scrutinize it.
He brings in players that have probably not played in 2 months or 3 months. When you look at statistics of players,
you have to know who is consistent.
Yes, you know who is consistent, who is scoring regularly, who is doing this, and this is also an incentive for these players as well. When you're nominated for this, you win the goal of the week. It actually helps them to improve and want to put in more effort to get better in.
All right, games. So Globe Premier League, you have goals from Gambo, Mohamed Gambo, Omofoma, and Bodi Daniel nominated for the wonder goal. I mean, this started some few weeks, and you need to check out some of these goals. Then, of course, you can vote for any of these guys you think that have scored a wonder goal. I mean, this is how we can help promote the league and ensure that we bring the fans back to the stadium and the love for the game on the domestic scene returns. All right, let me take some tweets, Lee, and I will allow you to respond to some of them. Somebody here says that, I don't know, okay, let me just read it. Jamelu at Aliu 06, he said, now Keshi is sacked, Shuabu is back. To me, the NFF ought not to have sacked him, instead allowing him to see through the qualifiers. I think
yes, that was the point I was making.
Agrees with you. Eze David says Nigeria needs a big shot foreign coach. How do you define that? That's always my problem. But let me read this. He said Nigeria needs a big shot foreign coach that can command respect of players. I would say we bid. This one doesn't agree. He said I would say we bid to host the Cup of Nations. Some are already thinking. I mean, I'm hearing from certain quarters that look, we may not qualify. Why not just South Africa did it for a while, just sneaking through the back door. But how do you respond to people saying big shots, foreign coach? Probably that's what we need.
Well, I sincerely don't buy into the idea of a foreign coach.
How do you define a big shot foreign coach anyway?
A big shot foreign coach, you should be going for the class of the coaches that have once been at the top level and are still very, very current and relevant in the game.
Not relying on past glory.
Not relying on past glory, not bringing in, journeymen or people who have once coached, and they've been at home sleeping or not doing anything again about football.
Remember the time we bought, was it Libret or something?
Libret.
Some of that. Well, I know, but by the time we get to that stage, a lot of funny names will start coming up. Yeah. But we hope that the NFF will be able to do the best for Nigeria as we go on. All right. Let's continue. Let's look at. Let's travel abroad. Look at the English Premier League matches that we played this weekend. Interesting fixtures, but really no headliners. Probably you look at this one, pick of the park, Manchester City and Tottenham. But let me run through for you. Lee. Arsenal will take on Hull City. Burnley will take on West Ham. Crystal Palace take on Chelsea. Everton take on Aston Villa. These are some of the fixtures for you. There are other matches to be played this weekend. We know, for instance, that Newcastle will take on Leicester. Southampton will take on Sunderland. Queen's Park Rangers take on Liverpool. Stoke take on Swansea. West Brom take on a rejuvenated Manchester United. But let me allow you, as we try to wrap things up because our time is fast spent. Manchester City take on Tottenham.
Awesome.
But this period is crucial. players returning from national team assignment, from friendly matches. Some of them seem to take a while before they recover.
Yeah.
And this is a crucial period. You lose games. After this, UEFA Champions League. How does all of this fit into it as we look at this?
As you said, it's a very, very crucial time in the season. You know, anytime there's an international break, when players return to their clubs, you never know what to get from them. You never
Some might be injured.
Injured, ill, some, you know, jet lag, fatigue here and there. So you can never really say what will come up. So Manchester City playing Tottenham, you can't really say, oh, Tottenham has been inconsistent. Manchester City should win this game. It could go either way this time around because of the international break. You know, injuries coming in, and you know, you can't really predict. It's very hard.
It's very hard. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's look at some big games across Europe. Not many really jump at you. Next week it will be maybe the El Clasico, but this week you just have to look at this from the Dutch league. PSV Eindhoven take on AZ Alkmaar. These two teams in the Dutch league, you have to give them some way. Twente also take on Ajax, and in the German Bundesliga. Years back, this is a fixture you would want to look at, especially when Werder Bremen had Per Mertesacker and Mesut Ozil. But you know, we're thinking something might happen in the Italian Serie A. This is where I want you to focus your attention. Inter and Napoli, pick up the park for me. Of course, because of what you said, Levante and Real Madrid, you would say you should go to, but funny things have happened this season. So how do you look at this?
Well, for me, the Inter-Napoli game
stands out.
It stands out. But the problem I have with Napoli is they are very, very inconsistent.
Yes.
Anytime, playing at home or away, but most especially when they play away. So I don't expect them, even with the international break.
Inter, I know without their problems as well.
Yes, Inter with their problems as well, but I still think Inter should be able to take
this one.
They should be able to take this because of the inconsistency of Napoli playing away, whether there is international break or no international break. And for the Levante Real Madrid game, I can't really, because Real Madrid, they are flying at the moment, you know. Gareth Bale, Ronaldo can stop. They started poorly, but it seems the players, maybe
that cycle has ended.
Maybe, or it's a very, very serious ginger or pep talk by the coach, Carlo Ancelotti, you know, has actually spurred them on, and they've been winning games and scoring goals are plenty. I think Real Madrid should do enough to win at Levante, but with the international break, you can never know what to expect.
That's it. With the international break, like me said, you don't know what to expect. So usually you would expect Real Madrid. If Real Madrid takes on Levante, you should be asking by what number of goals will Real Madrid win. Funny things happen in football, and that is why it's football. All right, let's move on and let's leave football and spend the remaining time on the show talking other sports. Formula One, we're yet to recover from what happened to Jules Bianchi in Japan. And Lewis Hamilton is saying, FIA, whatever rules you're doing, whatever, just make sure that you improve on wet weather tires to reduce the danger of racing in the rain. Because from what happened in Japan, it shows that the organizers will not cancel races, even when the rain is heavy. There's a heavy downpour.
Yes. Even when there is heavy downpour, they don't have to stop it. It's the
as long as safety is ensured.
If it's ensured, it's just like in football. When the game is on, there is a particular amount of rain that would actually disturb the game. So to Formula One as well, it's the same. You should just apply that. They just need to improve on the tires they make, you know, and make sure that all safety procedures,
enough friction,
enough friction, you know, so that serious accidents and people get injured, you know, and you start paying respect to someone before the next, you know.
I can't remember the last time. You know, this Jules Bianchi, I think the last time something like this happened was when it happened to Felipe Massa some years back.
Yes, when he had a serious injury. And
he returned to racing.
Yes, he returned.
But I don't see this happening in the case of...
no.
Because his was severe. All right, let's leave Formula One and hope that Jules Bianchi will be able to recover from that horrific accident, and that Formula One, the FIA, Formula One's governing body, will be able to put some things right and issues like that won't crop up anymore. Let's talk about this man, Nikolai Davydenko. Some years back, it was a threat to anybody. It was so good at some point, it was world number 3. Packs a very heavy serve, good left hand, and at 33, the man said, I think it's time to go.
Well, I think I'm slightly disappointed that he's retiring at 33. But I understand his problem because he's having issues, he's having injuries here and there. He's been struggling. He just can't cope with the younger guys. Again. He said it himself. Because if you are retiring at 33, playing tennis. You wonder, what's wrong? But he said it himself. He said he's been struggling with injuries, and he's just been waiting for one day when he's going to wake up and say, I can't do this anymore.
He said he made that decision after the French Open.
Yes, but it
took a while.
Yes, it took a while to come out and
maybe I can still
come
do
to
it.
Yes, he was trying to
sack myself.
But he just said he woke up suddenly and he felt, no, I can't do this anymore.
And
it's painful because this is a man that actually he didn't win a Grand Slam, and he lost out on 3 occasions to Roger Federer in the semi-final of a Grand Slam. So he actually tried, but I don't think he was able to fulfill all he wanted to do. But
all the
he won
potentials
some championships here and there, and
ATP tournaments here and
there.
Yes, and wasn't really. You can't
as
put
would
him
say.
in the brackets of Roger Federer,
Rafael
Novak,
Nadal,
but
Novak.
an important tennis player.
Anytime,
and the male circuit is a big loss.
Big loss
to the male circuit. But of course, you can't play forever. At some point, you have to end your career in sport. And at some point, a program that starts have to come to an end. And that's how we wrap things up on the show this morning. We really hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to do on the show. And I also want to thank Lee for making our time to be here this morning.
Thanks for having me. Anytime, any day.
All right.
I'll be around.
Okay, that's how we wrap things up. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll see you again next week.